Hi, welcome back to the Trust Your Worth podcast, the podcast that helps you tap into the power of knowing your worth. My name is Brittany. Thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. I'm so glad you're here. Last week I talked about feeling your emotions. So if you feel like you struggle to process your emotions quickly and you like to bottle things up, then that episode might be for you. So that is season 3, episode 16. But today we are talking about when things change kind of quickly, but basically like big life transitions, and how we can have the resilience to get through those big changes if they were sudden and life just threw them at us, or if it's been a hard decision, like we've thought long and hard and we feel this is the right decision for us to move forward. We're talking about those things today on this episode, so let's get to it. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I was watching America's Sweethearts, which is the show about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders on Netflix, and season 3 just came out, and one of the girls talks about deciding whether she wants to continue being on the team the next year. Because every year they tell the coaches that they're coming back or they won't be returning. Again, there's no guarantee that they get a spot, but I felt for this girl, Reese, who is deciding this. Spoiler alert for what she chooses. And it was kind of the inspiration of this episode. But spoiler alert if you haven't seen the show. But maybe go watch it before listening to this episode. But yes, Reese decides to leave the team at the end of this season. This is only her 3rd year in the group. And even though she is choosing it, she is struggling with accepting that choice. Because she loves the team and she doesn't want to give it up, but she feels like for her family she should. I don't know. There's a lot of mixed things that I don't really like that is implied about her decision. But suffice it to say, it just reminded me of the many big life transitions that even when you decide to let go of something or that you need a change, it can still be hard. Like, this is a situation where the word "and" is so helpful to us, because both things can be true at once. You can be excited for the future, but also so sad that you're leaving something that you love to do. But the reason you're doing it is because you're hoping for the future that you want to make. And so I've thought about that in my life. I remember I was in a dance group as well, and it was very hard to leave. There was like a couple years there when I was like, oh, should I not do this anymore? Because it was becoming a lot. And I was in leadership positions in the group, and that was also like a blessing and a burden in a way, because I was excited to lead and help my dance buddies out, but also at the same time it was more responsibility, and there is sacrifices that I had to make in order to show up for my team there. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stop dancing, and the decision was made for me. I injured my knee and I had to stop dancing, but I stayed in the group, and I ended up being on the tech side, so I did lighting and setup and all that. So we still went on tour and stuff, and it was still a blast, but I did miss dancing so much. That was hard to be in the group but not up on stage. And that was a hard life transition. So I understand the pain that can come when things you weren't expecting happen to you. And then kind of the same thing, I was trying to make my dream come true, and then right before episode 2 of making my YouTube show, I blew out my knee again. I tore. So when I first did it, I tore my meniscus, but then also half tore my ACL. But then when I moved home and was starting my new dream, I tore my ACL completely and then had to get surgery. So 2015, which I called Year of Brittany, I was like, I'm making my dreams come true, which I did. And that was so excited, but it was the added challenge of getting surgery on your knee. I'm kind of grateful that it happened, because I had to rely on others around me. Thinking that I could make my dream happen by myself was folly. And so once I was forced into that position, things turned out for the better, and I am grateful for that. But that's not to say that it was any less hard, and I know that any change is hard. So I wanted to talk today about big life transitions. So some of those things are like getting married, getting divorced, having a baby, becoming an empty nester, changing your career, dealing with an illness, or graduating and starting in a new school, or moving, just like any big life thing that can happen. Sometimes you choose it, you've put a lot of thought into it, and sometimes it just happens. Like you had no choice in the matter, especially like when an illness or an injury happens, like sometimes life happens. So what do we do when these things happen to us? And I want to give you tools to help you in that transition, and also to help you remember that you are always worthy throughout these transitions, because especially if you didn't choose it, it's easy to be like, why did this happen to me? I'm so freaking frustrated. Like, no, this is very inconvenient, because it usually is. I didn't want this, and you're thrust into this thing you did not want. And sometimes you can blame yourself, like, I knew it was coming, or like, I made choices. So for me, when I eat dairy and gluten, I know I will be pretty sick. So I knowingly injure myself because I cannot put aside my want for instant gratification for the sight of a longer term goal of health and happiness. So how do I change that mindset? How do I remember that these things happen and I can get through them? I can have the strength to make the changes that I need to. I can be resilient. So the key term is resilience. And that is what's going to help you. And also trusting yourself, because when you trust yourself, then you know no matter what happens to you, you have the tools to figure it out. Like, everything is figure outable. Even though it's hard and it might suck, like, you have everything you need to be successful and to get through this challenge. And you can remember the many times that you've gotten through, the many hard things that you've been through and overcome. So one of the things that I love, I got this information from an article on Psychology Today. It's about 2 years old, and the author's name is Kara Gardenswartz, PhD. So thank you, Kara, for this article. I'm going to link it. But one of the things she talks about is cultivating self-compassion, because being kind to yourself throughout change is essential. You need to have patience with yourself, because when it's hard, you're going to be mad at yourself and be like, you knew better. You could do this better. Like, why didn't you do this better? Those are the kind of things, self-talk we can hear. But no, I don't want you to be saying those things to yourself. Like, when I'm trying to be kind to myself, I have a special way of speaking to myself. So I talk to myself like I'm a child. And I call myself baby girl. So I'm like, baby girl, this sucks, but you're going to get through it. Immediately when I think of baby girl, that helps me to be kind. So find a way to get into the kindness mindset, especially when you're talking to yourself. It might be helpful to give yourself a specific name. So like sweet baby girl, or like my sweet Brittany, or like the bestest girl Brittany, like something that has a kindness moniker before it, however you talk to yourself, like a term of endearment that you're going to call yourself, because we're in the practice of loving ourselves, and that means talking to ourselves kindly. But cultivating this kind of self-compassion will help to relieve pressure when the pressure is on, because like when you can step back and look at things like, and the reality of things, you can understand that probably these things were not your fault. And even if there were, you can forgive yourself for the shortcomings that maybe led to this. And hopefully as you're kind to yourself, you'll be able to see things a little more clearly throughout this transitional phase of your life. Another thing she talks about is embracing the unknown. So she says to reframe uncertainty as a space for, oh, this is a new opportunity, which I know sometimes that maddens me, like people who are excessively positive, but like that's why we're here. We're learning to see the good in things. And also, like, yes, sometimes there is a lesson we need to learn, but sometimes life is just shitty, and shitty things happen to all types of people, good or bad. Like sometimes life just sucks. And it wasn't anybody's fault. It's just what happened. And so if you can remember that and be kind to yourself, and also try to reframe like, okay, yes, this happened. What is the opportunity here that this change is creating for me? So if it's like breaking up with someone, then obviously you're going to find someone who was better for you, who was more right for you, who is more for you. Because when you break up with someone, they weren't for you. So try and be open to growth and possibilities. Okay, so there's 5 strategies she gives for managing the transitions. So let's get to those. So the first one is to set realistic expectations. Change is going to take time. You're not going to be great at the change at first. Like when you think of starting a new career, you kind of have to start at the bottom. Like it's just inevitable. You don't have those skills. You're there to learn those skills and to get better. Even if I were to change offices right now as a dental hygienist, yes, I have my hygiene skills, but how the flow of that office works is something I would have to learn. And I would have to figure out the dynamics of the office. So there are just things that I don't have yet that I would need to learn in order to be successful in my new office. And you can either be impatient with yourself and be like, why do you suck at this? Or just be patient and kind, as we've said, and set realistic expectations of what is going to happen within the next couple weeks to months when you're figuring things out. So allow yourself to just take things one step at a time. My favorite song for y'all, one step at a time. There's no need to rush. So one step at a time. Okay, number 2, find your support system. So if you move to a city that might be hard, you might have to find a new support system by maybe making new friends in a whole new place, which you can do. You've done it before. So lean on those people who you can trust and who you know love you and you love, and just allow them to support you. So if you need help packing, like let people help you move. If you need help grieving the loss of like the life you had because you got injured, lean on your support system. Allow them to help carry you through this time. Like that is what friends and family are for, to love you through the hard times and show up for you when things are rough for you. So don't be afraid to ask for help and allow them to help you through this transition, and know that you don't have to go through your transitions alone. Okay, number 3, practice mindfulness. So I would sum this up in basically feeling all your feelings, like allowing yourself to process the emotions that happen in the moment, so you're not carrying them with you when you're trying to make tough decisions. So those are going to be things like grounding yourself, doing the box breathing, meditation, maybe it's writing in your journal, but these things are going to help you really be like, what the frick is going on? How am I going to figure it out? Like write all your feelings and be like, okay, now that my feelings we're back to an equilibrium here. Now I can figure out how I'm going to get through this transition. So practice that mindfulness however you want to, but think of those like healing practices, whether that's yoga, taking a walk, where you're just trying to focus on the moment and ground yourself somehow. This is like mindfulness, meaning ground yourself in the ways that you need to. So number 4 is staying open to learning. So transitions can teach us things like flexibility or patience or new strengths that we didn't know we had. It can push us to the next level and learn skills that we needed to know in order to get to our dream life. So sometimes that's by choice and sometimes it's not. And like I said, not everything is going to be a lesson, like a life lesson. Like sometimes life just sucks. But besides that, there can be opportunities for growth, and it's important not to shut yourself off to those while you're in a state of change. It can be easy to draw in and not reach out and not be open to things because transitions kind of naturally are just hard. So try not to like fall into yourself and be open to the things that are around you. You're going to discover more about yourself. So just be open to what you're going to discover about yourself. The 5th thing to manage your transition is to take care of your body. You're going to need sleep. It's going to be really hard to get sleep, but try to make it a priority. You need to rest. in order to function at your most optimal level. So especially when times are hard, you're gonna be able to function better when you're taking care of your body. So try your best to eat well, to give your body the fuel it needs, to get the exercise and rest. I'm saying rest a million times because most people forget the rest. So rest throughout your transitions in order to help you be your best, and give yourself the physical and mental energy that you need to overcome these unique challenges. Okay, while change can be daunting, it also offers the possibility of growth and transformation. I love that. This is an opportunity for transformation where you can become the new you that you've always wanted to be, or like find out more about yourself on a deeper level, like getting closer and closer to who your true self is. And I found that over the years that as I've like kind of put myself first and realized like, no, what's going to make me happy and how important my voice is within these changes, that I've been able to love myself more and recognize that, hey, I'm actually strong. I'm stronger than I thought. Or, hey, like I never thought I could do that skill, but holy cow, I'm doing it now. And in these moments of uncertainty, we can discover our true strength. And you're going to find out how strong you are. And you're going to find out like how much you can trust yourself. And if you find that you don't feel strong or you don't trust yourself, there are ways that you can. There's many ways I've shared here, but just know that you have everything you need to succeed. Like you've gotten through the hardest shit before and you can do it again. Like I know you can do it because you've already been doing it. So I hope this helps, especially if you're experiencing a big transition, whatever that may be, or if you chose it. And I hope that you know that you are so strong, and whatever the transition is, you are going to get through it. All right, so that is it for today. So your worth work this week is to practice self-compassion, because if you're kind to yourself, it's going to be easier for you to get through these transitions. So figure out how you're going to speak to yourself, whether that's coming up with the name that you call yourself specifically. I need you to make it if you don't have it. That is your worth work this week. So for example, mine is, baby girl, what are you doing? Baby girl, you can do this. And just speak to yourself compassionately and kindly. Just make that inner dialogue kinder. And then I want you to, one day this week, just wake up and say the name that you've picked and say, baby girl, I love you. Baby girl, here are 3 things that I love about you. And then say 3 things to yourself that you love about yourself. Okay? So we're going to practice that self-love, that self-compassion for this week to help you through transitions. Okay, thanks so much for listening. As always, you can find me at trustyourworth.com or on Instagram at trustyourworthpodcast, as well as TikTok. And if no one has told you today, you are so strong. I'm amazed at your strength. Like, you've done so many hard things and you've gotten through them, and I'm so proud of you. And don't forget to trust your worth. Okay, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.